Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 2C TV. I'm Maya 2C and this is your latest update, this time from Spain following the disastrous flood situation in the region of Valencia. A number of local people have been showing their anger, especially following the visit by the King and Prime Minister Sanchez. The socialist government have been completely all over the place in this case, and they actually have lost control over their own authorities. And obviously, over 200 people have lost their lives, unfortunately, in the region. They decided to do a photo op, and the whole thing backfired. The king was also targeted. The queen was also targeted. But let's not forget that the responsibility goes back onto the prime minister and the socialist government of Spain. Now, it is important to mention, we have some videos we're going to show you from the moments the whole thing kicked off completely. And they were throwing mud at also the Queen and the King. But it is important to mention that constitutionally, the monarchy in Spain is similar to the United Kingdom, but it is not symbolic, as in it's constitutional monarchy. But in the United Kingdom, the King has more involvement and authority when it comes to his government. In terms of, for example, the king actually appoints the prime minister and everything else. It's His Majesty's government in the UK. In Spain, it is still constitutional monarchy. It is not symbolic. But in the United Kingdom, the king has more power directly to tell off the prime minister, for example, for what's happening. In Spain, the full responsibility goes back onto the prime minister and his government. Now, the king was there to show unity and everything else. It kind of backfired on the royal family. Mostly because I think the anger was because not just the lives that were lost, but also the angry people in the region of Valencia who were saying, are you guys here for just a photo op, especially the Prime Minister, because you haven't actually done much. For example, before we show you the videos, we've got why the government has been reluctant to upgrade the emergency to level 3. There's been so many questions across the press and media in Spain and in Europe. That responsibility is the socialist prime minister. But again, all of them going to visit is because of the photo op, essentially. Now, we could make an argument that the king and the queen and the royal family's team were collateral damage because everybody was angry. They were seeing the leadership being there, and the main target was Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez. Now, because they were angry, people were also shouting at the king. But people are not stupid. They know that the prime minister is responsible. Let's go to the first video we have. Now, it is important. So a lot of people are saying, as I said, the main responsibility goes back to Sanchez. And that is always true. At the same time, the video also, obviously, all the evidence also shows that the anger was also expressed on the king and the queen because everybody was just angry anyway. So, for example, when people in the live chat, for example, this person, Maria, says people were showing their anger to Sanchez, not the king or queen, it's incorrect because we have more evidence showing that they threw mud at the queen, her face. You just saw the video with the king. So everybody was angry. the real anger is with the government, is with Sanchez. But because everybody was angry, they just thought anybody with leadership authority here, we're going to shout at them anyway. And they were asking the king to help, obviously, by shouting and being angry. Let's go to the next clip that we have. This shows the last moment when Pedro Sanchez was being essentially chased out by the angry locals in Valencia, rightly so, because the man has done absolutely nothing to help the people. But he wants to walk around and smile and take pictures. Watch this. Now, it is also important to mention that considering the governance of Spain, again, as I said, is under the leadership of Sanchez. And he should have obviously done a visit before, and he should have actually done more to help the people who've been suffering. The king, technically, not in terms of governance or politics, the king didn't have to go. But the king decided to go anyway with the queen to bring some sort of calm. And the whole point is, the king did his job. That's his job. Sanchez, people in Spain don't want Sanchez to go around, walk around the area, smile and shake hands. Provide support. It's your country. It's your socialist government. Take responsibility. Obviously, that's still not happening. Now, they can go around, send out statements saying, oh, over 200 people lost their lives. We are sorry. Being sorry is not really good enough. Now, this is the moment they started throwing mud at the king and the queen. Obviously, hit the queen because people were extremely angry. Let's go to that video quickly, and then we're going to come back.
A ti no te falta agua. No tenemos de nada. Y el presidente del gobierno un perro. La gente aquí muriéndose. No te falta nada. Nada te falta.
They are brave enough to still stand there and talk to the local people. What did Sanchez do? He ran away. Oh, because of security issues. I have a feeling there are always also security issues for the king and the queen. But no, well, we got the head of government. He needs to run away because people are angry. This is also a very interesting comment. Phil is right. Sanchez used the king and the queen as backup. Coward. Yeah. And there have been a lot of other journalists in Spain who also said the same. So to have his own back, say, can you guys come with me? Because you guys are the unifying figures. So the fact that he acknowledges that he's a divisive, incompetent, idiotic leader, Sanchez, is a problem. Now, if we go to the next section, this is again showing when people kicked off, when Pedro Sanchez got to the area. I think we also have that clip for you guys. Let's quickly go to that one, and then we're going to come back. Now, there's one thing to talk about politics, and obviously, you guys watching from Spain, you know the volatility of a political discussion, especially with this government. But put aside the fact that Sanchez is a socialist and his government have had very, very poor domestic policies. This is about the country. Ordinary people. They don't have energy right now. They don't have water. And people have lost family members. Over 200 people. The fact that we don't really have proper government in Spain, a civilized country in Europe, allegedly, right? Despite the fact that obviously over the last few years it's been quite difficult. And there have been issues with mass migration and everything else. But Spain is an evolved nation, a civilized country, lovely people. They deserve better. They do deserve it, regardless of the political division in Spain, regardless of, the whole issue with Catalans and everything else. They are good people, and they are human. Yes, their political leader is going around causing trouble across the world. I mean, let's not even talk about Sanchez's obsession with the Jews and Israel. That aside, this is criminal. It is absolutely criminal to treat your own people like this. Being reluctant to even increase the emergency level. How hard is it? Because they know if they do that, they have to spend more money. Anyway, next section is, this is the moment, by the way, this is actually quite important. Pedro Sanchez, when he got to the area, it was a classic photo op because, firstly, he told all the journalists and reporters to be there. He didn't just do it. He could have just done it. He could have just gone quietly and talked to the people. Firstly, do something rather than just go talk to people. But he got all the journalists to go there. And then when he got out of the car, you can see him walking around smiling in the middle of all this chaos. Is this the right time to do this? Let's go to the next clip that shows this. I mean, completely unhinged. It's embarrassing, obviously, on an international level as well. Now, there have been many other moments where, for the last few days, people in Valencia have been sending out messages to the government. They asked the governors and everybody else. By the way, the governor, responsible too, they're trying to their best, saying, well, we are listening to people. The governor's saying, well, I'm in touch with the Prime Minister's office and everybody else. If it's not getting done, you still have to hold your local representatives to account as well. So let's go to the next clip. This just shows the level of anger that we've been seeing in Valencia. Let's go. You see the similarities that a lot of the Western countries are having, which is governments and political leadership that are reluctant to actually get things done. Now, throughout history, we've seen moments, periods of time, when things happen at the same time, whether naturally or planned or just whatever happens. When all governments that are supposed to be close to each other become corrupt. When all political leaders, whether back in the day used to be monarchies and now presidents and prime ministers, do the same thing, eventually it implodes. There was a reason 1914 happened, and it was not just about one assassination. Things were building up. There was a reason 1938 happened, 1939. There was a reason that the French Revolution led to many other things in the world. There was a reason that the American Revolution had to happen. People in the political leadership don't seem to understand that, one, history repeats itself, could be different shapes and forms, but it does. Two, we don't seem to learn from history. And three, if you really care about power and if you're greedy, the best way to keep power is to actually treat the people better. It never works. It's never sustainable to be a tyrannical leader or an incompetent leader. Short term, you might be gaining whatever you were gaining, whether it's you're doing it for your ego or money or whatever it is, status. It's never sustainable. whether you talk about dictatorships or fake politicians. And that includes right-wing and left-wing. That includes the pseudo-nationalists and the socialists who become communist and tyrannical. Let's get some reaction from the live chat. Mickey Mouse says, at least that king went out and tried to address the problem. But as someone else said earlier, it is a fair point to be made that it seemed like Pedro Sanchez used the king and the queen as a cover, as a backup, as a shield to take them with him, thinking that he's not going to get attacked. Crazy. We have a troll who mostly, ironically, creates a name. This person comes on the channel every now and then, England for the English, but it's actually a troll, saying, "Are you retards still following this Iranian traitor?" Yes, they are. And of course, I am an Iranian traitor because I'm a traitor to the Islamic Republic of Iran. I'm a proud traitor to the Islamic Republic of Iran. And thank you for watching, Mr. Troll, and keep commenting, because the more you watch and comment, it helps the algorithm. Tammy says, these royals have to get on a handle on their PM or it's over for them. Again, there is a difficulty when it comes to the Spanish monarchy in terms of constitutional monarchy. They are still constitutionally in charge, but they're not as visible and direct as the monarchy in the UK. As I said, it's still not symbolic. It is still constitutional. But everything goes back to Pedro Sanchez. And stolen houses at night by the southern people. No police, neighborhood patrols to protect themselves. We got Blue Sapphire also says, I swear to God, every leadership in the world is so disconnected from their people. They are so self-invested in their own survival that they become dictators against the people. Utter disgrace. It's the betrayal of each nation, and this is the biggest issue. USA is with 2C. Brilliant. Rob says, love the troll bashing. It's fun. You're going to have to laugh at them. Right. What else do we have? Fiona says, he's Persian. Best looking one too. That is a fact. Yeah. I confirm that. Yep. Very humble as well. Oh, someone got very angry. He's Persian, you dick. I love how the supporters of TCTV get offended on my behalf and get angry. Brilliant, guys. Thanks for the support. Someone says there, Charlie and Starmer, WEF brothers, are going nowhere and don't give an S about us. They're globalists, all about the depopulation genocide. With Bill Gates, read it yourself, believe me or not, or don't, read it. And what else do we have? There's a couple of people talking about Trump being a Zionist. Of course Trump is a Zionist. He supports the Jews and Israel. They're saying it as if it's a bad thing, by the way. Supporting the Jews is a bad thing. Yep. What else do we have from the live chat? I really don't think we will see the Spanish Armada anytime soon. They can't even have a simple, common sense economic policy for their country. I mean, the situation with Sanchez is fascinating that over the last few years, we've had young people in Madrid protesting for free market. I mean, where did you ever see young people protesting for free market? It is fascinating. Usually young people just become left-wing and communist and all that until they actually end up living under socialist policies for a few years and then realize what happens. Same happened in Argentina. Why do you think Milei won? Because young people were like, yeah, previous generation messed up because they kept going with far left policies, and look at the situation now. We need change. All right. What else do we have from the live chat? Look at it. That's not what Zionism means. It literally means Israel first. Liar. Why am I lying? Of course it means Israel first. Obviously, Israel first. Britain first. USA first. America first, obviously. And Spain first. Always put your country first. Doesn't mean you have to hate other countries. Doesn't mean you have to attack other countries or not do any sort of cooperation or trade with any other friendly allies and neighbors. You can always do that, but put your country first, always. And it's time for other countries to do that. That's why I keep saying on the channel, nationalists and patriots from all countries need to support each other, because we've been isolated and left alone way too long. If you're British, support Le Pen and the French patriots. If you're Portuguese, support the Spanish patriots. It's time for the nationalists and patriots to actually support each other. We have the same cause. Put your country first. Israel first, South Korea first, Japan first, Australia first. Again, ironically, the name of the troll's profile is England for the English. Oh, so good. They don't get the irony. It's just too funny, guys. All right. But yes, as I said, keep watching because it helps the algorithm. Trolls. Oh my God. This person says, I'm not saying Israel is bad, but a lot of Jewish businessmen control the media. They control everything. This is just jealousy. You should control it. Work harder to control it. You know? There was a time when the Vatican and the Catholics were controlling everything. And there's a point where, well, we live under the American Empire, whether you like it or not. People call it Anglo-American Empire, but it's the American Empire when it comes to national security, the dollar, obviously, financially, even culturally speaking. So obviously people from Pakistan will have a meltdown saying, oh, the Americans control everything. Well, work harder, be better, get successful. You know, those who always complain about the Jews being successful, well, work harder. So why are you so jealous? Anyway, when did Israel become your country? Juicy. Juicy? I love juicy. It's not. That's why I said Britain first. The problem we have is that the education system have created absolute nutters. So I also said Spain first. Doesn't mean Spain is my country. You gorgeous. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break before the trolls, their minds get blown up completely because they can't take too much information all at once. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we are the media.